In this video, we're going to use Rational Developer for Z with EGL to enable a CICS COBOL program on System Z to call an external web service. We created a folder called SVRTime, and we've imported a WSDL file from an existing web service called SVRTime.WSDL. What we do is we right-click on the WSDL file and select the Enable Enterprise Web Service option. That brings up the Launchpad. Now, since we started with a WSDL file, most of this is correct, but what we really want is to use an external web service. So we need to use application mode of service requester. And we want to save the generation properties. When we click Start, it's going to launch the wizard. The wizard is the Web Services for CICS Create New Service Implementation top-down wizard. We start with the application properties, and the program name comes from the name of the WSDL file, and we want the COBOL option. Then we go to the Service Properties tab, and there's the local URI, and the binding element and operations come from the WSDL file. Now we'll click Next. On the target artifacts page, all of these things will be generated by the wizard: the structures, the WS-bind file, the template, and the properties. In the structures, we have a COBOL copybook that will be generated called I01.cpy for the request part of the web service. For the response part, it will be O01.cpy. And in order to run this multiple times, we want to overwrite existing files. File container is where our original WSDL file was created. That's where we'll be writing all these generated objects. The WS-bind file is the one that will actually copy up to the System Z and put it in the pickup directory of an outgoing pipeline, such as EXPipe02. For the template is actually the COBOL program template. We'll be using that template eventually to write COBOL programs that call this web service. And then in properties, it has a couple of different properties, and it'll save them as XML files. So when I press the Finish button, it'll actually generate all of those target artifacts. Now, since we started in the SVRTime folder, all the target artifacts will be generated to the SVRTime folder. Let's take a look at the COBOL program. In the COBOL program, it's generated code, and the generated code has all of the structures to be able to call a web service. But for example, in the request, you would actually have to modify the COBOL program to put some values into the request before calling the web service. And then in the response, once you've called the web service, you would want to get the response and then do something with it. So this is a template COBOL program. And then, as before, the copybook 01 represents the request, and then the copybook 001 represents the response. So this is the response for our getTime service. The WS-bind file is the file that we would actually copy up to the pickup directory of an outgoing pipeline. And you can see in the request URI, from the point of view of the ZOS, it's going to actually look for that host name and call that web service when you write the program and run it. Thanks for watching.